an apology. Dear faithful listener to the Wealth Wisdom Financial Podcast and watcher of our YouTube channel, I need to tell you I'm sorry. I had a major life event that happened in 2022 that we never did a podcast about. And it's something that's super, super important to me. And we didn't share that part of our story with you publicly. So I'm going to fix that today, share a little bit of what happened, my story there, and what that means for you as our listeners, and how you can take advantage of that milestone in my life and think through how it can boost you on your financial journey. In case you haven't caught on yet, it's this thing popped up over here in our background on YouTube. If you're watching us on the screen, if you're listening on the podcast, I'm pointing to my certified financial planner certificate that's right behind me, hanging on, not really hanging, leaning against the wall. And that came into my life in December last year. And I want to talk to you a little bit about why I did that, why it's so important to work with a certified financial planner, and some of my story as a bank on yourself professional who also became a certified financial planner. So, as we always say, welcome to the Wealth Wisdom Financial Podcast, where we believe when conventional financial thinking doesn't get you where you want to go, you need wealth wisdom. If you're a faithful listener, thank you so much for being here. I hope my apology goes a long way to keep you a faithful listener. And if you're just finding us, welcome. So glad you're here. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Give us a rating, review, comment. We love when our audience lets us know they're listening and interacts with us. So please do that. That would be amazing. Okay. So let me give you the story. I became a financial professional in 2018. I got certain licenses. I went through different training programs and took on a mentor who was a certified financial planner. Started working with individuals and couples all over the US, doing some really great work to incorporate wealth wisdom into their lives. And it was great. I had some awesome successes. And I realized like, this is my calling. This is a purpose for me. This is what I need to be doing for the rest of my life, or as long as I'm able to. I want to be helping people create the financial future of their dreams that can help them find their purpose, live into their calling. It's really fulfilling work, and I've very much enjoyed it. But there was always something like, either people thought I was a one-trick pony, or I didn't know as much as I could have. And so I decided I decided a little before, but then finally in March of 2021, I started my journey of becoming a certified financial planner in terms of one of the education requirements that's there. They have a few different requirements. There's an education requirement and an experience requirement. My experience really started in 2018 with education that I was doing at that time and the mentorship and working with a certified financial planner as a partner of theirs, doing a collaborator of theirs, I guess is a better word. But then I started like the educational component in March of 2021 and studied for about 10, 15 hours per week for a little over a year and a half or so. And then in November of 2022, I sat for the exam that you have to pass, a pretty rigorous exam, took most of the day to get that done, lots of studying in advance of that, and did that early in November. And then it takes about 4 or 5 weeks or so to get the official news that I passed and could officially get the certificate, add those letters, CFP after my name. So it was quite a process, and I'm really glad that I went through it. I learned a lot. I learned how to communicate more, what I'd already even known before I started the educational process. It was really, really good. And I'm really glad that I did it. And it's already bared fruit in my life as well as the lives of our clients, my clients directly, but also indirectly with Brandon's clients, because we collaborate a lot on the work that we do. He gets the benefits of all the knowledge I gained and the resources I have and all of that. So part of why this is finally coming up, thank goodness, after, 6 months of having this designation, why I'm finally like sharing this is because we've been talking about this theme, stop throwing spaghetti at the wall. And last week, I did an amazing episode, or at least I thought it was amazing. I hope you did too. Let me know. It was kind of a mini workshop of what kind of a taste of financial planning could look like. And as I was reflecting on that episode, I was like, I got to talk more about financial planning, especially to wrap up this theme of stop throwing spaghetti at the wall. I talk to so many people who have this little bit of a strategy over here and this little strategy over there. And they kind of have this rule of thumb or this idea that they live by, but they don't bring it all together in a comprehensive financial plan. And so they don't see how the different pieces come together. They don't feel that harmony in their financial life, not balance, but harmony. Very big difference there of the pieces working together, kind of like the chef who melds the different flavors on the plate so they work in harmony together. Our financial lives can be like that too. So I wanted to actually show you the proper way to think about financial planning. And to do that, I'm actually going to share a resource that's publicly available that you could go look at whenever, however you want to. So I'm going to start sharing my screen here. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what this resource is, how you might use it, how you might think about it. And for those of you that know that I'm also a Bank on Yourself professional, how this informs that work that I do too. So here we go, share my screen here. Okay, so this is the cfp.net website, publicly available. It's just cfp.net. This is what it looks like there. They've got this awesome marketing campaign going right now. It's got to be a CFP. You might have seen some of their commercials on the internet or on TV shows that you watch. But on this, it's got to be a CFP. You can see like their requirements for certification. There's 4 E's: education, exam, experience, and ethics. And they have a whole tab devoted to ethics. And on their ethics tab, there's this code and standards. It's a very thorough document. Actually, I opened it up in another tab, so I didn't have to wait for it to load while we talked here. And you can see if you browse the sections of this, it is a pretty comprehensive outline of what does it mean to have the ethics and standards of a certified financial planner. And you could read through all of this. It's a really great document. It helps you see if you are working with a financial professional, what kind of standard you should hold them to and what ethics should they have. And you can ask them questions and different things as you go here. But what I want to take you to is under B1, the financial planning definition. This is one of the things we had to memorize as we were studying to take the exam and such. So here's what it is. Financial planning is a collaborative process that helps maximize a client's potential for meeting life goals through financial advice that integrates relevant elements of the client's personal and financial circumstances. That's a mouthful. You're the client in this scenario. And it would be a collaborative process, that's a very big word, to maximize your potential for meeting your unique goals. And the financial professional, the financial planner, would bring in advice that is taking your life circumstances, your relevant elements, and what's going on in your personal and financial life into account in order to reach those goals and kind of bringing it all together. So you want to make sure collaborative, that it's all about you. It's all about where you're going for your goals and what you're starting with, right? How are we going to reach those goals with the time and the resources available in the way that you want to try to reach those? And how do we make that happen? And let's collaborate on what that looks like. I think that's really powerful to just stop there, right? We could end the episode. I want to show you another thing they have. So this is elsewhere on their website. There's a guide to financial planning, the 7-step financial planning process. And it has like this, here's what we have to do, like understand where you're coming from, identify and select goals, right? This whole process here, great stuff. And then they have this case study to give you an example of what a financial plan would look like, what it would look like for Martha and Dan Miller to work with a financial planner. And the part of why I brought this up is I want to show you kind of the headings. So as you might expect, you talk about savings, assets, liabilities, education, retirement accounts, right? Those are both large expenses. Retirement is actually a large expense. Education for your children, a large expense. And how are you going to save, have assets, pay down debt to accomplish those things? But it doesn't stop there. One of the things a certified financial planner is able to do, of course, talk about your expenses, your cash flow, how much liquidity do you have, do the budgeting type stuff, right? But also thinking about taxes. Now, a CFP is not the same as a CPA or an enrolled agent, an EA, but we do learn a lot about taxes and tax strategy. And so you can talk about that with your CFP and then get resources, get knowledge, get empowerment to take back to your accountant to think about your taxes. And of course, if you work for the government or you're counting on Social Security, you can talk about government benefits. We do a whole lot of learning about insurance, auto, home, health, life, disability, long-term care, all the different kinds of insurances, even ones I didn't name, other things with employee benefits, whether that insurance is provided by your employer or you get it outside of your employment. Estate planning is another really, really big one that we spend a lot of time thinking about, the transfer of your wealth to where you want it to go from the grave. Can you control that? And if you don't control it, how the state does have a plan for you if you haven't made a plan yourself. So those are like the high level ideas of what we kind of learn about. So more than that, but I loved how this case study put that out there. So when you're working with a financial professional, if you're not working with a certified financial planner, you might focus on only one of these at a time. What a certified financial planner does is they help you integrate these different areas of your life so that they're working with each other, not against each other. And that is a pretty big deal. So the certified financial planner might not actually sell you auto insurance, but they can review your auto insurance policy to make sure you've got appropriate coverage and maybe make some adjustments depending on how much you have in savings to cover a deductible or not, right? Those kind of things are some really powerful things that if you did that with your auto insurance person, it would look differently than if you did that with a certified financial planner. So where am I going with this? I want to talk. So somebody asked me recently, as a bank on yourself professional, which is, I got that designation in 2018. And then 3 years later, I started becoming a certified financial planner. How did that background, learning about bank on yourself, play into becoming a certified financial planner? And I'm really glad I had that background first. I'm really glad actually I started using the bank on yourself concept back in 2013, well before I even thought I'd ever be in the financial professional industry thing. And it's really informed my life and my values. And I'm proud to now call myself a bank on yourself professional. And I'll tell you straight up, in all the curriculum I had, those words, bank on yourself, did not come up. It was not part of my studies, but I saw it everywhere. So, for example, you can save within a high cash value whole life insurance policy. That can be part of your savings. And you can use it for things like paying for a college education, the cash value that you build up there. Some people use it to supplement other sources of income in retirement. Life and cash value life insurance is considered an asset, and you can use it to help control your liabilities by using it for the banking function of your life, right? It is life insurance, but has all these other uses too. And to be able to talk about those uses is really good. That's something we are taught as bank on yourself professionals. I'm really glad that we think about those uses. But then what a lot of people don't realize is that we don't just stop there. We also learn, if I'm looking here at this expenses, cash flow, liquidity, how having actually I experienced this in my own life as a user of the concept well before I ever entered this industry, that having that regular premium going into a life insurance policy on a regular basis really helped me to take control of the rest of my money, right? I saved first on the first of the month, quite literally, and then I had to figure out how to do the rest, right? I paid myself first. Very good concept. But then also it helped me control some of my other expenses and cash flow by using it to pay off debt and those kind of things. So that actually increased my liquidity and I had more liquid available for when the things of life came up. Very important there. There I personally, with my own money, save for my yearly tax bill within my life insurance policy. I think through the different tax buckets long term, tax deferred, tax free, and tax never. And how do I want to work? Which one of those is my policy in? How do I want to think about how much goes into each of those buckets? And that's something that comes up as I'm talking to people about banking yourself and how they think about taxes and if it's important for them to have tax deferred money or pay taxes now and not have to worry about taxes later. And a lot of conversations about taxes. And then insurance, I mean, obviously we're using life insurance. That's the vehicle for banking yourself, but also by having more liquidity, cash value that you can take a policy loan against or use in other ways, it can actually lower things like car insurance premium because there's more available for the deductible. And so you can lower your deductible and save on your premiums increase your deductible and save on your premiums that way. But also can think about other types of insurance and how much they are important or not important depending on life stage, family, and then how much like the accelerated death benefit rider on the life insurance policy. Do you also need long-term care in addition to that, long-term care insurance in addition to that or not, right? Lots of fun with insurance that you can have in the conversation about banking yourself. And then finally, this estate plans one. I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen because this is where I'm going to conclude today and start wrapping up. It is life insurance. And sure, we want to use all of the living benefits of life insurance as much as possible and do things like free ourselves from paying interest to banks or losing out on interest when we cash in our savings and things like that. But because it's life insurance, it plays such a critical role in estate planning, particularly to provide liquidity. So I talk a lot with folks who are real estate investors that when they graduate, they get to go on to the next, thing, whatever that is. The life insurance can complement their real estate by, let's say, there ends up being a large tax bill, a state tax bill. The life insurance death benefit can pay that tax bill. And so no properties have to be sold. And so then their beneficiaries of their estate get to continue to get the income from that real estate. Or somebody has a business, right? The business doesn't have to be sold. Or even just covering final expenses or large medical bills or paying for, whoever you're leaving behind to still enjoy their lives. That's really important. It could also be helping charity, doing something like a charitable lead trust or a charitable remainder trust so that your family's taken care of, but that your charity is still going to get, your favorite charities are still going to get money later. And life insurance can fund those kinds of trusts and all of the juicy things that come along with estate planning. And a lot of people don't like to think about that side of things, but it's actually kind of fun to realize like you can control things even after you're 6 feet under. You can decide how you want your money to be used and when you want it to be used. And if you don't decide, the state is going to decide for you. There is a plan. And a lot of people don't know all the options there are out there to create your own plan when it comes to estate planning. And one of the things that I learned throughout this process was you do want to work with an attorney or a software, a tool made by an attorney, because estate planning does have a lot of law components to it. But there's also a financial component to estate planning. And if you're just talking about the law components, a lot of people will create something like a revocable living trust, but they'll never fund it. And right, they don't do the financial side of it. And so it's pretty much pointless. What I love to now think about a lot is how do you work with the attorney, do the attorney things with the law, but also how do you involve your financial team in it, particularly your financial planner, in order to make sure that both work together. And you don't create this document that actually doesn't get funded, or you're not doing all this stuff funding-wise that you don't actually have the plan written in stone, right? And it's got to be both and. So we're going to talk a little bit more about estate planning in future episodes. So hit that subscribe button. We're going to come back to that. But I want to give you an idea. Basic moral of the story is as I was studying and going through the curriculum, I was really glad that I had all the training that I had as a bank and yourself professional. I knew a lot of things already. It was going a little bit deeper, hearing different perspectives on certain things, those kind of things. But I really saw, like, even though those words, bank on yourself, and the whole concept wasn't spelled out in my studies, it was everywhere. And I was seeing ways to use what I was learning to help people do bank on yourself better. And also other tools and resources that would complement what they're doing with their bank on yourself type whole life insurance policies to boost those and boost everywhere in their life, right? Bringing all the puzzle pieces together. So, as we're wrapping up this theme of stop throwing spaghetti at the wall, I wanted to give you an idea of what it would look like to really approach things comprehensively. And it might seem like a lot to review all at once. And I want to let you know if there was like a little part of what I shared there that you're like, that sparkled to me. That's something I want to come back to. And you're a client with me. I want you to bring that up in your next 6-month review. I want to talk with you about it. Let's absolutely, whatever that thing was, or all the things, let's do that. And if you're not a client yet, I could still talk to you about it. Let's meet, you can schedule a call with me at wealthwisdomfp.com/call. And if maybe you already have another financial professional or you work with another bank and yourself professional, know that they can talk to you about this stuff. And if they can't, then you might want to add someone new to your team. So bring this up to them, ask them who can you introduce me to? How can I move the ball forward in this way? How can I bring all the pieces together? What would a financial plan look like? And if they're not doing that for you, please reach out to me and I'll see how I can help you with that too. But I hope that this has been super helpful for you in one way, shape, or form. That's it. It's June 30th when this episode comes out. We're really looking forward to talking about our next theme of the month, which will be estate planning. Don't get scared by that. We're going to give you some really cool resources and tips for how to make that happen in as little time and with as little cost as possible, and in a way that brings life and encouragement and ideas to you. So hit that subscribe button, get excited about that. And don't forget, if there was something in this episode that you're like, I need to make sure my financial life, my financial plan incorporates that, and it hasn't yet, do the follow-up, make it happen. Listening here is great, but doing the action is what actually changes your future and the future of the people you love. And I hope that you do live long and profit. The topics presented in this podcast are for general information only and not for the purposes of providing legal, accounting, or investment advice. On such matters, please consult a professional who knows your specific situation.